Hare Gange Mahadev Sri Shankara Parvati Pati Mahadev Sri Shankara.
Namaste, it's Sahara Rose, and welcome back to the Highest Self podcast, a place where we discuss what makes you your soul's highest evolvement. Do you feel deep in your soul that you have a purpose but are overwhelmed and confused about where to start? Are you a multi-passionate person who needs a clear focus and direction so you can truly make progress and impact this year? Do you know deep down that your highest form of joy is your highest form of service, but need clarity on how to make that your reality? Well, you're not alone. Our school system and society has not trained us to follow our intuition and honor our dharmas. In fact, it can feel like totally foreign territory. But the thing is, discovering your dharma is the most important work you can do. And without discovering our dharma, we will never experience true happiness, because happiness is the byproduct of living your purpose. I was where you might be right now, confused and overwhelmed about my own dharma, questioning if I even had one, if my dreams were just wishful thinking, or if my obstacles had happened to be for a reason because it was my opportunity to share them. And through my journey of deconditioning and unraveling and getting true with myself for many, many years, I finally got the courage to write my first book, second book, third book, my newest book, Discover Your Dharma, and help thousands of others discover their dharmas too. So I'm so excited to bring you the first ever course, the 21-day Dharma Discovery Journey. In this course, in just 21 days, in less than 10 minutes a day, I will be your Dharma coach, guiding you step by step on how to discover your Dharma. So if you're interested in learning more, head over to iamsahararose.com/Dharma Discovery. Again, that's iamsahararose.com/Dharma Discovery. The link is in the show notes, and I'm so excited to see you live in your Dharma. Are you creating out of joy or fear? Seriously, I'm asking you this question right now. Where are you creating from? We put so much focus in our society on what we are creating, what we are doing, what we're putting out there. But what about where it's from? What about what energy were we sitting in when we created that thing? Because that is actually the frequency it's going to emit. We can all feel when someone is texting us and they're feeling off. They may be saying, I'm totally fine, all good. You could just tell something's off. Just like we can tell when someone gifted us something and it came from the heart. We can always feel the intentions behind something. But for some reason, I think we skip that it applies to us. So from an energetic standpoint, as well as from a physical standpoint, this sensation of where energy comes from is felt. It's real. You could have written a paper in school and wrote it the night before when you were super stressed out, or had really spent your time and poured your heart into it. And I guarantee you the teacher could tell the difference. And at the same time, on an energetic level, if we are desiring something out of fear, out of feeling like we are not worthy if we do not have it, then what is the real message we are giving out? You may be checking off all of the things on your to-do list, but why are you checking them off? So I ask you this question because in this hustle, grind, go culture, we can get so caught up into, I got to get the shit done, instead of where is it coming from? Why am I doing this? And how is this in alignment with who I am? So I even found myself, after this book launch of Discover Your Dharma, which was so much energy, writing the book and launching it. It's a 2-year-long process on top of, running a business and doing all of the other things that I do. And I caught myself, in this book launch portal, essentially, of like, okay, what's coming next? And I'm like, wait, why am I asking myself that? Am I a machine? Is my only sole objective here to produce and produce and produce? So when I really sat with the why am I trying to go to what's next, it came from this underlying sense of I am not enough if I'm not creating something for others. And that is a really different energy from creativity is oozing out of me. The feeling of I am not enough if I am not producing comes from capitalism. It comes from our wounded patriarchal culture. It comes from racism. It comes from this system that we are in that trains us to feel like we are unworthy unless we are feeding the system. It teaches us that rest is lazy. It teaches us that if you are not slaying and hustling at all hours of the day, you will be #canceled. And who is this really helping? Is it helping you? Is it helping your partner who you don't spend time with? Is it helping people around you? It's helping the system. It's helping the corporations that benefit from this. It's helping the politicians and the GDPs. That is really what this culture was created for. And as co-creators of this culture living in the experience, we are able to have the awareness and realize, no, I am not giving into your system. I feel like one of the greatest gifts of 2020, now moving into 2021, hot damn, is it about to be March? What? I feel like it was just March last month and now it's March again. But the beauty of that is I feel like everything that happened this year really just snatched the cat back, you know? Like I used to think of how much we would make ourselves do every single day before the quarantine experience. You know, we would work 9 to 5, or maybe it was even 8 to 7 p.m. as it is in many corporations. And then you go grocery shopping, and then you run errands, and then you try to make it out to see friends because that's what you're supposed to do. And then you come home and you have all these emails and you have social media things to reply to. And we would really do so much. And now I feel like our nervous systems got a chance to unwind that we're like, whoa, honey, I am not going back to that. And that's kind of the way it should be. You know, no other time in history were we doing 10 million things a day, were we working 12 hours a day for years on end. There was always ebbs and flows. There was always the summer where we, harvested our foods and the winters where we rested. But in our culture where we have electronics and due dates and responsibilities year round, we don't honor those seasons anymore. Every season is go season. So that shifts where our energy is coming from. It ends up not coming from that dharmic place. The dharmic place, your dharma being your soul's purpose, the big reason why you are here, the whole premise of my message and what my book is about. Check out my interview a couple interviews back, Discover Your Dharma for more on embodying your soul's purpose. But when you're living your dharma, and I share about this in the 5 stages of dharma discovery, but that stage 5 is really when there's no separation between the inner and outer you. You are being you full time. So that creativity, that inspiration is flowing out of you. It's orgasming through you. You can't help but to do. This is the intersection of being and doing. This is the sacred doing. However, when you are doing because you feel like you should, because you won't make enough money if you don't, because you feel like you'll be forgotten if you don't, because you feel like you just should, because you don't know who you are outside of your doing, that shit isn't sacred, honey. That isn't some sacred doing. That is some dog doing. That is some staying busy doing. That is some unworthiness doing. And I just caught myself doing it too. We all do. Our schools primed us for it. And our society further pats us on the back when we do it. Oh, you're such a good colleague. You put everyone in front of yourself. In fact, you have no boundaries. Amazing. We love it. Raise. So what are we really creating here? Are we creating a better world when we're doing this? Or are we just giving into the system that doesn't want what is the best for us? So as someone who can very much be in the creation and the doing because I'm in alignment with my Dharma, that I naturally have so much energy to give to it, after this book coming out, I said, you know what? I'm going to, share the book, do the podcast, and I'm in my postpartum. I just had a motherfucking baby. And that baby didn't take me 9 months. It took me 2 damn years. And the 10 years before that of figuring out how to find my Dharma to even write about it. So that's a couple babies right there that I just had. But our society isn't treated like that. It says, get back to work. What's the next book? What's the next thing? Oh, you're not selling enough. Oh, you're selling this. Oh, you're doing that. So I said, I'm in postpartum. My focus is going on rest. So I have been lying down as much as I possibly can, like in between working out or doing something, I just lie my ass down on a yoga mat. I use this foam roller that I put it vertically on my spine. I open up my arms and I just let my body be in that surrendered state. And guess what? I am channeling higher ideas than I actually ever have before. Because when we let our bodies rest, we increase our vibration. And then that place from which our ideas are coming from aren't coming from that burnt out hamster wheel exhaustion, do for the sake of doing, do for the sake of I'm not worthy if I don't. It's coming from a place of rest. It's coming from a place of oomph, cup full, oozing out. I don't need to do this, but I want to do this. Do you want to be in a relationship with someone who would feel unworthy if they weren't in a relationship, so they're just sticking with you? Or would you want to be with someone who's like, you know what, I don't need a relationship to be complete, but I'm choosing to be with you? So Dharma is the same thing. If you're like, oh my God, I need to be doing things all hours of my day and figure out what my Dharma is, and kicking yourself on your laptop like, come on, universe, drop me the download now. That is not how your Dharma is going to come through. She's going to be like, yo, you're desperate. Bye. Your Dharma is going to come through when you are in that rested place. Now, rest can look like lying down, or it can look like taking a walk, or it can look like doing something else, getting creative, even cleaning your house, but doing something away from the mundane processes, the lower brain consciousness that our minds are always in, the survival. As I write about in chapter 1 of the book, we have our higher and lower brains. So when we're in that lower brain reptilian mind state, all of our decisions are going to be focused on survival. So will this lead to my higher survival? Yes or no? Now, living your Dharma is not something that's going to instantly look like higher survival. In fact, it's going to look like the polar opposite. So you being in your lower brain state, which is the state that we're in most of the time, the 3D physical material consciousness where we're just responding to the world outside of us, you're not going to be seeing the possibilities from that state. You're not going to be tuning into subtle energy. You're not going to be connected to the higher supreme nature that connects us all. It's like when you're playing ping pong, all you can focus on is shooting that ball back. You can't come up with a new theory while playing ping pong. You're just in the swing. And that's what our daily grinds are like. We're just shooting it back. So if we don't take a step away from that, we don't find the practices that work for us, and there are so many out there, from meditation to breath work to ecstatic dance, my healing and embodiment through dance practice and chorus, I'll put the link in the show notes, to therapy, to hypnosis, to flower essences. I mean, the possibilities are endless for things to bring you to a higher level of consciousness. But the reason why we do it is so we can channel from that state. Again, you're not going to come up with your best ideas when you're feeling like shit. That's really what the 3D, 5D conversation is about. 5D, feel better, think better, live better. That's it. That's really what it comes down to. So are you creating for the sake of creating, because you don't know what else to do, because you just are so used to being productive because you were given a gold star as a kid and now your entire self-worth is based off of what you can do for outside approval. I had that. That's why I know it well. Or are you Beyonce in her throne? And you're looking around at the other options, all of the options and timelines that you can take. And from that rested, leaned back, empress state, you're saying, I'm going to choose that one. So I invite you to create more from that place of rest, to put your body into that place of receptivity. You know, our bodies, and I'm really studying deeply into somatics right now. It's something I'm so fascinated about as a dancer and someone who is so passionate about embodiment. Our physical bodies, actually, our body postures tell us so much about ourselves. So I noticed for myself, and I'm sure a lot of you, we have the tech neck. What's the tech neck? When your head it's like 3 inches in front of the actual top of your spine because you spend all of your days for years on end looking at computers and laptop screens and phones and things in front of you. So, you know, you might be doing that right now. You're like looking down on your phone or looking ahead. So your head is in front of your spine, which creates a curve, like a little arch on top of your back. It makes your shoulders cave in and it closes your heart space. So as we know, the mind and body are connected. And whatever state we put our bodies in, our minds will respond. So if you didn't have the phone in front of you and you saw someone who was sitting like that, what would you think about them? You would probably say, oh, well, that person's really timid. They're shy. They're meek. They're scared. They're insecure. Well, basically, we are sitting in that state of a closed-hearted, arched forward, closed off, trying to keep my heart safe person. We're sitting in that state all the time. That is our practice. You know, people say, I don't have time to practice. You're practicing 24 hours of the day. How you move your body is your practice. So when we are constantly in this place of heads forward, it's almost like this like fight or flight. It's this like, I'm ready to attack. And essentially it's that energy of responding instead of creating. Ping pong energy. So I invite you to practice more of the receptivity, more of the lean back, the recline, and creating from that space, creating from your throne, and letting it come to you. That doesn't mean don't work. That doesn't mean don't take action, but it means get into that aligned state first, be clear on your actions, and then move forward from an empowered and aligned space. So I am really excited because I am putting together, I'm not even going to say what it is, but essentially it's going to be the first and only training for you to actually become a coach in this type of work that I'm teaching about. I'm talking about Dharma with Somatics, spiritual life coaching, and so much more. So if you are not subscribed to my email list yet, this is only going to be emailed to my email list because we're only going to be taking in a small amount of applicants. I'm not even supposed to be talking about this right now, but I feel like if you're listening to this episode, you're like the kind of person we want to apply. So just be subscribed to my email list. Head over to iamsahararose.com. Just scroll on the bottom. You'll see join email list, or if you ever take my Dharma archetype quiz or any of my quizzes, download my meditations, just be sure to stay on my email list. Make sure it's in your inbox. But I am really excited because I'm putting together some pretty cool stuff. Like I believe where training and coaching should be, the kind of things that we're not talking about in the coaching industry for actual results that include your body. Yeah, and that's all I'll say right now. So if you want more information on that, when doors open very soon, head over to my website, iamsahararose.com, and join the email list. And maybe you're listening to this after April, and then it will be officially announced. So then head over to my website anyways to learn more. And in the meantime, if you would like to dive deeper into discovering your Dharma, check out my 21-day Dharma discovery journey. This is a 21-day course, 10 minutes of videos each day with specific prompts and exercises that you can do to help discover your Dharma. You can find that link in my show notes as well. iamsahararose.com/Dharma discovery. I am so grateful to have you here on this podcast, and thank you for raising the vibration of the planet with me. If you loved this episode, I would love to send you a free gift, which is the first half of my unreleased book, Eat Right for Your Mind Body Type. This is a different book than Eat Feel Fresh, my first book ever, which is not released anywhere, and I am gifting it exclusively to those who leave a review of my podcast in the iTunes store. So all you got to do is head over to iTunes where you may be listening to this podcast and leave a review. Take a screenshot that you've left it and email it over to me at Sahara@eatfeelfresh.com. Again, that's Sahara, Sahara, at eatfeelfresh.com. And I will send you back the first half of my unreleased book, Eat Right for Your Mind Body Type, which goes all into Ayurveda, doshas, plant-based nutrition, body types, all of the things in a really fun and engaging way. So this is my gift to you for free for supporting the podcast. Every single review I personally read. It really helps the podcast be listened to by more people so we can raise the vibration of the planet together. And I am so grateful to have you on this journey. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode. Namaste.